Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and back for a Star Wars video. I've kind of been preoccupied with all of the Ninjago and all the Season 16 leaks, but I thought it might be time to take a back step, take a little break, and return to the world of Star Wars. Today I'll be continuing my Did Right, Did Wrong series, where I take a Star Wars sequel character and find at least 3 things Disney did right, and 3 things Disney did wrong with that character. So, in this video, I'll be concluding the Did Right, Did Wrong videos of Luke Skywalker. Remember, everything I say in this video is just my opinion. You do not have to share my opinion because it's just my opinion. And with that out of the way, let's dive right into this. Now, about a month ago, I posted the Luke 3 Things Disney Did Right video, so since it's been a little while, let's review. In that video, I said that Luke's first appearance, Luke's dark side moment, and Luke's fear of Rey's power were all points that I thought Disney did pretty right. But as you know, that video tackles absolutely no negatives. So I kept my less optimistic opinions to myself, but no more. To be clear, I do still think that those 3 points were still valid to an extent, but it's all about how the actual performance and how they all relate to Luke's overall story. The points were quite interesting, and I dare say good concepts for Luke's character, but how Disney actually performed and showed them to the viewer was lacking in many ways. So, today I'll be fulfilling my promise to look at an argument from both sides and present Luke 3 Things Disney Did Wrong. My first point is probably pretty obvious, but wrong point number 1, attempted murder of Ben Solo. Now, there has been a lot of speculation and accusation over this topic, but let's try to break it down into simple terms. Many people believe that Luke killing his nephew is the farthest thing possible for Luke's character to do. We're talking about the same person who would never stop trying to save his father, Darth Vader, the man who had killed hundreds, thousands, even millions if we include that whole deal with the Death Star. That same character, full of goodness and hope, now sees a small vision of evil from his nephew and immediately decides that death is the one and only option. What? Why? How? What? Some people have created the theory that it was Snoke, the leader of the Sith and the First Order, who was actually polluting and controlling Luke's mind, just as he was with Ben's, but Luke was able to resist his power just in time. But, as far as I know, the Star Wars sequels have never hinted at this, and Disney itself never confirmed it, so this theory cannot stand up as fact. The attempted murder of Ben Solo began the chain reaction of destruction, death, and fear that entered Luke's life and caused him to run away from everything. But it just doesn't hold up. Why would Luke try to kill his own nephew? The story is not believable, and there are many other ways this entire process could have been handled. So, I present at least one alternative. The first time Luke met his nephew, he sensed a darkness. Under the surface, a pressure pushing on his mind. He tried to ignore it, but as Ben grew older, the sense of darkness grew stronger. When Ben reached a certain age, Luke went to his sister, Leia, and told her of the darkness and fears what Ben's future holds. Leia isn't surprised. She tells him that she senses the darkness too, and the Force. She tells her brother that she has seen Ben's connection to the Force, and has felt his power, but it is tainted. She tells Luke that she doesn't think she can train such a Force-sensitive person, but Luke disagrees. "I can save him," he tells her, reminding her of their own father. "No one is ever too far gone," he says. "If I was able to save our father, I can save your son." Leia nods, and over the next few days, Ben is transferred to his uncle's academy. Ben begins to hate his parents, believing they didn't love him enough and wanted to get rid of him by sending him to his uncle. Luke sees this, but he's sure that the emotions that the boy feels can be helped, and so starts his nephew's training. But it would not be so easy. Balancing his tasks at the academy, between all his students and the missions around the galaxy, Luke begins to use the Force more and more, becoming stronger and yet unstable. He begins to leave less and less time for meditating, and more time for practicing the physical aspects of the Force so he can assist those in need. Back at the academy, he can't ignore the feelings of hate, frustration, and loneliness that emanate from his nephew. But between all his other tasks, he doesn't know what to do. Then he remembers what he said to his sister, Leia, and finally confronts his nephew. On the way to Ben's quarters, Luke hears a scuffle in the yard. When he stops to look, he sees Ben towering over a group of younglings. Luke shouts at Ben, and he turns. The two look into each other's eyes for a moment, and Ben reaches out to Luke through the Force. "My grandfather was even stronger than you," he says through the Force, and then turns on the younglings, activating his lightsaber and raising it above his head. Luke shouts "no!" and then launches himself through the air, attacking Ben with full force. The two have a fast and fierce battle, all control of mind gone from both combatants. But Ben is strong and keeps trying to attack the younglings. In anger and fear, Luke launches himself at Ben, who barely deflects the strike to the heart, and is instead stabbed in the shoulder. Ben cries out in pain and the anger washes away from Luke's face. He deactivates his lightsaber and takes a step back in shock. At that moment, Ben launches at Luke, and Luke's vision goes to black. When he wakes up, he sees the Jedi Temple burning to the ground, with dead younglings and Force sensitives all around him. At that moment, he sees a small ship take off from the other side of the temple, and senses Ben, now Kylo Ren, at the helm. He watches the ship go and disappear into the smoky sky before falling to his knees, sobbing as the screen fades to black. Wow, okay, I didn't exactly mean to go all story mode on you guys today, but there you have it. If you enjoyed that little tidbit, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If we can get that number up to 75 subscribers, then I will actually start some sort of fanfiction blog, and I'll perhaps include a Star Wars section in there. So be sure to hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more. Anywho, of course, this version of the story doesn't fix everything about Luke's character in the sequels, and there are so many other ways that this could have been handled, but this is a different way that might have worked. We still get the end result with Luke blaming himself and running away to his island, and Ben becoming Kylo Ren. But I think the storyline is much more powerful and would have built out their characters so much more. It would have actually made the audience care about what was happening to Luke and his state, and actually fear Kylo Ren as a villain instead of a whiny child. It also would have given Luke an actual reason for why he tried to kill his nephew. He was trying to actively protect those in his charge. No far-off scary visions were controlling his actions, but the present moment. He was already falling from the light side of the Force by focusing on physical strength and ability, and in a moment of emotion and fear, Luke tapped into the dark side and nearly killed his nephew. We've seen him do this before, when fighting against Vader in the Emperor's throne room and giving in to the dark side for a small moment and nearly striking down his own father. But now, in the heat of battle, his nephew challenges his mentality again, and Luke fails the test. Okay, I had quite a lot to say on that particular topic, but moving on to wrong point number 2, bested by Rey. Now, I really don't like this scene. I would use the word hate. It might be a little strong here. But this scene of Rey beating Luke in this small duel is just so humiliating. For those of you who don't quite remember the scene, basically what happens is that Rey is able to contact Kylo Ren through the Force, and he tells her that Luke tried to kill him when he was still a student at the academy. Luke finds out that they've been speaking and gets pretty angry at Rey, telling her to leave the island. Rey then confronts Luke about his past with Kylo, and the two of them get into a short duel with staffs. In the end, Luke takes her staff away from her, but then she pulls out her lightsaber on him, winning the fight. This is a time where it just seems like Disney is not even trying to hide the thought of women being better than men. This is just in your face, I'm better than you, deal with it. Luke should have ended the duel as soon as it began, flat out stopped her. She is obviously terrible in her form, swings, and attack, and yet Disney allows her to ultimately defeat Luke and force him back. This is just disrespectful, and the message is clear. Luke is old, weak, and depressed. Rey is passionate, strong, and determined. Accept her as the new Jedi. But, plainly said, this is just terrible. It undermines Luke's ability, gives Rey another moment to be perfect, and forces the Disney message down your throat. This is probably not a big deal, but when I first watched The Last Jedi, this moment particularly bothered me. Luke was already acting pitiful. Don't disrespect him any further. Okay, on to the last point here. Wrong point number 3, cowardly sacrifice. Now, like in the last point, this is just something that really bothered me. During the Battle of Crate in The Last Jedi, Luke shows up to distract Kylo and allow the Resistance to escape. He fights Kylo Ren, but then allows Kylo to stab him in the chest, and it is revealed that Luke is using a force projection and is not actually present. The main problem I have with the scene is that why didn't Luke actually come himself? It was already shown earlier in the movie that Luke still has his X-Wing starfighter, and it is completely operational. So why didn't he come himself? Why didn't he truly face his nephew and the mistake he had made so long ago? I saw some people getting teary-eyed over this scene, but all I could think of was coward. He couldn't even sum up enough courage to actually leave the island and meet one last time with his twin sister. I mean, really? This is just another one of those moments that I want to ask Disney why. Why do this? When we last saw Luke in The Return of the Jedi, he was someone who would never leave people behind. He would always protect those who needed him and would rush into action to save the helpless. But now, he is sad, pitiful, a man with few good qualities and a lack of motivation in life. Now he turns his back. And even when he summons up enough courage to show his face, he doesn't even attempt to leave his island. Disney, if I had to choose just one Star Wars character you ruined the most, I'd have to choose Luke Skywalker. And on that depressing note, that just about concludes this video. The 3 official wrong points of Luke are killing his own nephew, being bested by Rey, and offering a cowardly sacrifice. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see y'all in my next video.